Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This video I am going to be making a chocolate chip cookie and just thought I would go ahead and videotape it and share it with you all. It's very simple, it's very quick, it's really yummy. So if you do make this, I hope you enjoy. We'll go ahead and get started with the oven. You want to preheat that at 375. Have yourself a nice baking sheet and then a spatula. Also a cookie scoop. Have all your stuff ready to go before you begin. If you don't have a cookie scoop, you can always use a tablespoon and just heap it, like a heaping good amount when you scoop it out. You'll know when you start scooping if you don't have a cookie scoop. So for the ingredients, you're going to have flour, baking soda, and salt. Those are the first three ingredients that you'll mix together here separately. And so what I have is 2 1/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And this is all combined here. You're gonna mix this in with the wet ingredients once we get all that prepared. And then also you're going to have 2 sticks of butter. I have 3/4 cup of each brown sugar and white sugar. Yeah. 12 ounces of chocolate chips, and these are semi-sweet, and these are Ghirardelli. But if you are able to access Hershey, those are my preferred chocolate chips. And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then 2 large eggs, and these are brown eggs here. And so what I'm gonna do now, since I've already mixed my flour, baking soda, and salt, and I have that here just to show you what that looks like. This is pink Himalayan salt. By all means, use whatever salt it is that you have in your kitchen. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the butter, place that in my mixing bowl. If you don't have a mixer, you can use a hand mixer. And then if you don't have a hand mixer, you have those wonderful hands that you can use. And it always works just as well, just takes a little bit longer and a little bit more elbow grease. Now I left all my wrappers here because my butter is quite soft. So what I'm gonna do is scrape the rest of the butter off of those papers as we are mixing. And so with the butter, you're just going to turn your mixer on and combine this until it gets to a good creamy consistency where it's all combined. We'll get this started here. You want a nice good whip to it. Whip it good. I don't like to waste anything. Of course, if it's necessary, so be it. But if I have the time to take care of it, then I will. We have a little dropping in there. I'm not gonna worry about it because it's all gonna blend together anyway. So we'll just let that rock. Sorry. Okay, so while that's beating, we'll go ahead and get the next ingredients ready, which is going to be the 2 teaspoons of vanilla and then 2 eggs. You can kind of hear the difference when it gets a little bit lighter. Like you want it to be like a light and fluffy texture versus the softened butter that you put it in there as initially. All right, so we'll get this ready. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in here. And this is 2 teaspoons. We'll do 1, and 2. And I've got my mixing cup here already. So what I'm going to do, it's already been used for the flour. I'm going to crack my eggs open and crack them into the cup here to make sure that the egg is okay before I put it in the bowl. And we'll lower this down a little bit so that we don't get egg splatter. So you want a nice golden egg. It's kind of hiding. you can kind of see the sunrise in there. You just want to mix it real good. Do not over mix. You don't want tough cookies, you want nice, soft, chewy cookies. We'll go ahead and whip that up again. So the next I'm going to take my sugar and go ahead and pour this in here. We'll turn it down again. And if you spill, don't worry. It's all good. We'll turn it up again. Now another way that you can do this is to start with the butter and the sugar and beat that until it's creamy. I like to kind of get a flavoring in my butter first before I put the sugar in there. So I put the sugar in after. Alright, so then I have the 1/4 cup that I used earlier from the flour. So what I'm going to do is use this to go ahead and scoop my flour into my bowl. And then we'll get the spatula ready. And we'll start adding the flour. Starting with that buttery scoop that made its way into the flour here. And then let's turn this down just a little bit. So again, we don't have any splatter. And it'll happen. If it happens, that's fine. Don't worry. Sometimes you can catch the spin when there's a, it's almost like a double dutch. You can dump it in there. And then because it's getting a little thicker, like the more you add, I would say go a little slower with the mixing. And then that way you don't have to worry about over mixing as well. You want to do this gradually. So it does help to have, I would say, a smaller scoop rather than a bigger scoop to put your flour in. Put this over here. And then once you get all the flour in, go ahead and turn it up just a little bit to kind of get everything combined. Alright. So now we have a nice cookie dough. And we'll just scrape. Even with the butter, we'll scrape the rest of the dough off of the mixing spatula here. This is so simple and easy to do. You can't really mess this up. And of course, you know, there's that wonderful recipe on the back of the chocolate chips to make chocolate chip cookies, but why not go ahead and share that fun with the rest of the world if you can. So here we are. All right, so got yummy cookie dough here, and I'm gonna take the 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips, pour all those in there. Probably open this up a little bit more. And for chocolate chip cookies, it's pretty versatile with the cookie dough. If you have M&Ms or even sprinkles or some fun things that you want to add that may be chocolatey, you can also add, I would say probably about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of walnuts or peanuts as well, or pecans. You could do that too. So I'm just gonna cut all these chocolate chips in to the cookie dough here. Give it a couple big stirs. Make sure no piece of dough is untouched by a cookie, by a chocolate chip. I'm excited. I'm excited to eat these cookies. They're gonna be good. Okay, so here we have cookie dough with the chocolate chips. We'll go ahead and set this down. Let me move this here. You can see that. So I'm just gonna take my cookie scoop. Excuse the noise. And you're just gonna layer, I would say, lay each of these down. I'm gonna do a row of 3 so that they have enough space. So 3 across is what I'm gonna do for my sheet. I can show you here. And then just go all the way down. You want a nice even cookie scoop. They're so delicious. You can make, I've done a video on brownie ice cream sandwiches, but you can do cookie ice cream sandwiches with these too and get some really good vanilla ice cream. And once you get your cookies made and cooled, take a little bit of ice cream, put the ice cream in between 2 cookies, wrap them in some plastic wrap and throw them in the freezer. Super good. And so what it looks like I'm going to have here is a good healthy dozen. Oh my God, this dough looks amazing. Make sure you want to eat it. I would say for safety reasons, with the raw egg in there, it's not recommended, but if you're feeling it, go for it. Okay, so here I have nice scooped cookie dough, chocolate chip cookies. You're gonna put this in the oven for about 9 to 11 minutes. I would check it at about 8 minutes to see how they're doing. That'll kind of give you an idea of how much more time to give them. And then you'll cool them on a wire rack. Let me put that out here. So I'm gonna leave this out here. Let them cool for a few minutes. You can take them out, put them in a container, and then you'll make the rest of your cookies. If you don't wanna make the rest of your cookies, you can throw them in the fridge for a few days. If you're not gonna use that right away, you can also put this cookie dough in a freezer, I would say for probably up to 2 to 3 months, and then take it out as you need it, make your cookies, you're good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in, get these babies going, and make the rest of them. I wish you all the best. I send you love. Peace.